Get ready to buckle up for an astonishing ride through history, where the height of World War II and the pandemic meet car makers' surprising production pauses. It's a jaw-dropping fact that will leave you stunned. These two periods, driven by different circumstances, forced car makers to pump the brakes, one to divert resources for war efforts, and the other due to chip shortages and pandemic-related shutdowns. Can you believe it? But here's where it gets even more intriguing. The pandemic provided a golden opportunity for automakers to engineer an artificial shortage on the dealer lot. Sneaky moves right under our noses. Now, fasten your seatbelts because we're about to hit the accelerator. After years of cruising along at a snail's pace, used car prices took an unexpected detour in June 2020. Brace yourselves for mind-blowing numbers. The Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis reveals a staggering 45% surge in used car prices between June 2020 and June 2021. And guess what? Car Guru's, the ultimate price tracker, backs it up. Car Guru's index price shows that the average used car listing started at $20,697 in June 2020 and zoomed up to a jaw-dropping $27,583 exactly 1 year later. And here's the twist. This rally was happening when economies worldwide, including the United States, were revving up and pandemic restrictions were loosening. Talk about impeccable timing. But hold on tight, because the automotive roller coaster is taking a surprising turn. The price trend has hit a roadblock, leaving no doubt that it's running out of gas. Brace yourselves for what's coming next. Experts predict a massive decline of anywhere between 20% and a jaw-dropping 50% in the months ahead. Yes, you heard it right. Now here's the crucial part. This drop will have an impact on you whether you like it or not. So grab your popcorn and gather your loved ones, because this video is an absolute must-watch for you and your loved ones. Don't miss out on the insider knowledge that will help you navigate these tumultuous waters. Your wallet will thank you. Be sure to watch until the end for helpful tips to stay safe in these uncertain times in the car market. Please support our channel with a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Historically, used car prices have been low and registered barely noticeable spikes. In fact, the used cars and trucks expenditure category of the Consumer Price Index shows a nearly flat line between 1956 and 1973. But everything changed in 1972 to 1973, when the Yom Kippur War triggered an oil embargo by the major oil producers of the day, mainly Arab countries. Although it was lifted a year later, the ban had registered an effect that car users would get familiar with for the rest of their lives. Oil prices remained high across the United States and much of the developed world. The oil price shock influenced many Americans to go back in search of smaller and more fuel-efficient cars. Besides the lingering effects of the oil embargo and the Vietnam War, a lot happened in the 80s, including President Nixon had just taken the United States currency off the gold standard. As such, car prices continued to surge, with the used cars and trucks expenditure category of the Consumer Price Index peaking at 116,100 in April 1986. This peak was 254% above the value recorded during the Yom Kippur War almost 10 years earlier. Used car prices continued their upward march throughout much of the 90s until they started falling with the new millennium. However, everything changed with the onset of the 2007-2008 Great Recession. According to the Car Guru's index price, the average used car price was $30,391 as of August 2010. Besides a tight economy that made older cars attractive, one of the primary factors responsible for the sky-high valuations for used cars in this period was the car allowance rebate system, commonly known as Cars for Clunkers. This government-run program incentivized Americans to turn in used cars in exchange for new ones if they met specific criteria. As always, the public turned entrepreneurial, driving demand for used cars through the roof. By the end of the program, about 680,000 vehicles were traded in, and as a result, the supply of old cars dwindled. Although the CARS program helped stimulate the economy and reduce the number of fuel-inefficient vehicles on the road, it created the perfect environment for used car prices to shoot up during the pandemic. In 2009, when the CARS program went live, no one could have predicted that just 10 years later, the world would be engulfed in a public health crisis that would bring the global economy to a sudden stop. Many car makers paused production because of restrictions on movement that meant workers could not make it to the factory floor. Also, the disruption of the global automotive supply chain made it difficult to justify new cars because where would they go? Usually, when the prices of a good or service skyrocket, buyers tend to boycott them until the price level is right. Experts call this buyer's strike. It is a collective attempt by consumers to engineer a price drop by refusing to purchase certain types of products until they feel the prices are justified. Interestingly, this did not happen in early 2020 when used cars started getting expensive. Instead, consumers rolled with the new price levels, leading to price inflation similar to a decade ago. Several factors influenced this behavior, including inventories were still low as a result of the CARS program. Stimulus payments to backstop consumers in the face of the global pandemic enabled buyers to withstand the inflationary pressures. As of July 2022, the average used vehicle retailed at $31,104 according to the Car Guru's Index. The index declined in early 2023, bottomed at $28,345 in March, and rose again. This trend reversal convinced some knowledgeable observers to declare that the United States used vehicle market may never return to the pre-pandemic levels. For example, a CNBC article in March argues that we may never see cheap used cars because the market seems incapable of solving the low inventory issues, and that pricing issues seem persistent. The article explained that consumers are buying out leases instead of trading in their vehicles, and that automakers are not manufacturing as many vehicles as they used to. Therefore, CNBC suggests there is no easy solution in sight, and that used vehicle prices are unlikely to return to pre-pandemic levels anytime soon. But be fooled not, because the bubble will burst soon, and the prices will come tumbling down like a stone. Here's why. The first clue lies in one of the reasons why used vehicle prices are so high: expensive new vehicles. According to St. Louis Fed's Consumer Price Index data for new cars, the prices suddenly shot up starting March 2021 due to several factors. A primary factor was the shortage of critical chips, which delayed production. Yes, chips. These semiconductors are a primary feature on modern-day technology-filled vehicles. In fact, an average modern vehicle requires up to 1,500 semiconductor chips. These tiny elements of technological marvel are responsible for the slightest operation of your car, including the things you may have forgotten are crucial, such as power steering. Some functionalities like connectivity, safety, and infotainment require advanced chips, and their shortage in 2020 increased the cost of producing new cars. As always, manufacturers transferred the cost to consumers, pushing the average price of a new vehicle to $45,031 in September 2021, up 10.8% from a year ago, according to Kelley Blue Book data. But 2 years later, a Kelley Blue Book analysis indicates new car prices are finally climbing down from historic highs. According to the analysis, in March 2023, the average transaction price for a new vehicle in the U.S. fell below the manufacturer's suggested retail price for the first time in 20 months, reaching $48,008. Auto manufacturers increased incentives, such as discounts and cash back offers, which constituted 3.2% of the average transaction price, providing an average discount of $1,516. Additionally, non-luxury vehicles saw an average price of $44,182, while luxury vehicles had an average price of $65,202. If the trend holds, more consumers will likely scoop up new vehicles, taking the bottom out of the used car market. The second reason car prices will drop significantly soon is the cooling market. As we discussed earlier, one of the primary factors behind this development is the declining average transaction price of new vehicles. Additionally, JP Morgan's lead automotive equity research analyst, Ryan Brinkman, said in a recent research note that raw material costs are falling, which might further lower the new car prices. There is a notable trend of reduced commodity costs, primarily influenced by the decline in prices of stainless steel. cold rolled steel, and synthetic rubber. JP Morgan Research's weighted index of commodities utilized in automotive production indicates a potential average decrease of 24% in costs for 2023 compared to the previous year. Brinkman, commenting on the latest spot prices, emphasized an even greater advantage for the automotive industry throughout the entire year of 2023. In short, demand for used cars should significantly degrade in the coming months. Normalizing inflation is the third and most critical factor that will drive car prices down by 50%. As you may recall, we stated that government stimulus in early 2020 enabled consumers to somewhat withstand ridiculous price hikes in the used vehicle market. According to the latest Bureau of Labor Statistics inflation data, consumer prices increased by 4.9% from April 2022 to April 2023. Also, the month-on-month CPI rose 0.4%. While these numbers might seem like a lot, they in fact indicate that the economy is cooling. Exactly 11 months ago, the Bureau reported that the CPI for all items was 9.1%, a level last seen in 1981. We already saw that the period around June 2022 was also when used vehicle prices reached an historic peak. In other words, the data shows a clear correlation between general inflation and elevated used car prices. One of the primary reasons for the cooling economy is relentless efforts by the U.S. Federal Reserve Bank to tighten interest rates. In fact, the Fed has raised rates 7 times in the past year, from 0.25% to 0.5% in May 2022 to 4.25% to 4.5% in May 2023, with more projected hikes in the remaining half of the year. The bottom line is that the U.S. used car market is in a massive bubble, and many needles compete to pop it. We've seen that cooling prices in the new car market indicate a coming crash in the used vehicle market. It is also clear that the Fed's efforts will most certainly generate a massive correction. To the clear-minded, the warning signs are blaring, and the used car market is now a danger zone. But how can you navigate the market to avoid landmines? If you are a consumer, consider the following. Timing your purchase. Keep a close eye on the market trends and timing your purchase strategically. If you have the flexibility, consider waiting for the prices to reach their lowest point before making your purchase. Prioritize value. With lower prices, you can focus on finding the best value for your money. Look for well-maintained used cars with reasonable mileage and service history. Pay attention to the overall condition, reliability, and available warranties to ensure you're getting a good deal. Negotiate and leverage competition. With the drop in car prices, there may be increased competition among sellers. Use this to your advantage by negotiating the price further or requesting additional benefits, such as extended warranties and maintenance packages. If you run a used car business, the following tricks should help you stay afloat when the inevitable happens. Stay updated. Continuously monitor the market trends and keep yourself informed about the latest developments in the automotive industry. Stay in touch with reliable sources such as industry reports, market analysis, and news updates. Adjust pricing strategies. Recognize that buyers will be expecting lower prices due to the anticipated drop in new car prices. Adjust your pricing accordingly to remain competitive and attract potential customers. Consider reevaluating your inventory and pricing each vehicle based on its current market value. Focus on value. Emphasize the value proposition of your used cars. Highlight factors such as low mileage, good condition, recent maintenance, and additional features to differentiate your vehicle from the new car market. Offer competitive prices relative to the perceived value of your used cars. Diversify inventory. Expand your inventory to include a variety of car models, ages, and price ranges. This allows you to cater to different customer preferences and budgets. A diverse selection increases your chances of attracting buyers looking for specific types of vehicles. If you found this information useful, please show your appreciation by clicking the thumbs up button and subscribing. Please comment below with your valuable insights and thoughts, and do not forget to share the video with your loved ones. Thanks for watching, and watch this one next.